The left will tell a lie. Joe Biden was just fine. Mainstream media will report the lie. Big tech will amplify the lie. And then when you tell the truth, they call you names. And no one knew this better than Laura Trump when Jake Tapper called her all kinds of names on the show for her pointing out the truth. And now, of course, the irony is Jake Tapper has switched positions and say, oh, yeah, he wasn't capable of handling the job all along.
Well, now there's some more interesting stuff coming out about the president, who in effect was just an Autopen. Listen to this from the Sacramento Bee. President Joe Biden on Monday, so you know about this, obviously. This is from the pardon time, a couple months back. President Joe Biden on Monday issued preemptive pardons to Senator Adam Schiff and other members of Congress and their staff who investigated the January 6, 2021 Capitol riots. Schiff was an outspoken House member at the time and part of the committee that probed the insurrection. But he added, I certainly understand why President Biden believed he needed to take this step in light of the persistent and baseless threats issued by Donald Trump and individuals who are now some of his law enforcement nominees. Biden left office at noon Eastern time on Monday. In the pre-dawn hours, he also issued pardons to retired General Mark Milley, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Anthony Fauci, the former director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and staff from the House committee. So that was obviously back in January, just as Biden is walking out. And we showed you the video yesterday of how all of these pardons were signed by the Autopen, and they look exactly the same because the Autopen just has one signature, which is then, put onto the document, just like you were copying something or printing something. Now, the problem with all of this, of course, is that as we find out more about how Joe Biden was being hidden from people, and that they weren't allowing him to have meetings, and that he often didn't know you can't even say that he didn't know what he was signing. He didn't know what was being signed with his name, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, you've got a serious scandal there. Listen to Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan talking about how 4,000 pardons were signed. It's not just the big boys we're talking about here. Some of those names you recognize, like Fauci and Schiff. 4,000 pardons were signed by Autopen, and of course, the mainstream media covered it up.
Well, yeah, he said there was a process that they had in place and that he would delegate authority based on certain parameters they'd set up in this whatever this process was. And of course, that the background is we know he wasn't up to the task. And that was obvious, even though the press told us all the time he was. And now, of course, they've told us something different. And Jake Tapper's making money off of telling us that there was something different going on. So I think to really pin this down, though, we're probably going to need a whistleblower to come forward. Because if they, people come in and take the fifth, people come in and don't say, people come in and say, yeah, there was the process and we all knew that this was in place and the president set up the parameters. Short of a whistleblower, I think it's tough, but I do think, again, this whole thing just underscores how the left operates. The left will tell a lie. Joe Biden was just fine. Mainstream media will report the lie. Big tech will amplify the lie. And then when you tell the truth, they call you names. And no one knew this better than Laura Trump when Jake Tapper called her all kinds of names on the show for her pointing out the truth. And now, of course, the irony is Jake Tapper has switched positions and say, oh, yeah, he wasn't capable of handling the job all along. And there was a cover up. So, but I think we need a whistleblower to come forward.
So you think they're going to get away with it?
I think it's just tough to prove it. Particularly, I mean, the witness, according to Chairman Comer last week, when the witness they brought in, the doctor, he took the fifth, is what the chairman said. So, yeah, I just think it's tough, but I think we continue to dig, and who knows, maybe someone will come to, you know what, I know so-and-so was given a pardon, and they didn't meet the parameters, and Joe Biden never, and short of that, I think it's going to be difficult. Now, he did sign, my understanding is he did sign one personally. He did sign one pardon personally.
Hunters, right?
Exactly, exactly. When it came to his family, his direct family, his son, he was able to sign that one. It was the other 3,999 or whatever the number was.
Exactly.
That it was not done with his actual signature.
Right. So this idea that he auto-penned all of these except for his son, did he even know they used the auto-pen on the other ones? Did he request, hey, it's my last day? Like, did he have sudden total recall and was like, must sign Biden, Hunter Biden, pardon, blah, 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 blah. But there obviously is a fairly big scandal happening here.